by Blood, Chapter 4. Mom, what are you... AJ searched for words, but found her mouth dry. Her heart was beating painfully hard in her chest. Her mother only raised an eyebrow at the sight of the office. Couldn't you get a bigger space? This makes your agency look cheap. What are you doing here? AJ found her voice again. Her mother didn't seem impressed. I came to talk to you. And your phone broke? Or your email got hacked? AJ said, clenching her hands into fists. Maybe you should have considered that I don't want to talk to you. Oh, I figured. Radio silence for the past year, then suddenly hearing that you got another Olympus office from Hannah Rayner, of all people. Her mother's eyes landed on her again. What did I ever do to you to deserve this? AJ huffed. You know damn well what you did to me. To her. Who, Tyche? I gave her every chance to change, and she refused to. There's only so much I can do before accepting who she is. AJ hissed. The only thing she ever did to you was being gay. Do I have to remind you that you're going into physical therapy every other week because of what she did to you? What she did to me is our business, AJ said. And I talked things through with her. We've been working on our relationship. She's a brilliant investigator because you trained her. AJ ignored that comment. And she's happy here. And I'm happy too. So I don't care what you've come here to say. Your father wanted me to say that he's leaving. AJ felt her stomach turn. What? He was offered a position somewhere in Asia. Dean of students, professor, I don't even know. I didn't ask. He just told me to tell you. Why wouldn't he tell me himself? AJ shot back. Because I'm assuming he's gotten the same radio silence from you as me. And frankly, I don't care. I'm not here for him. I told you as a courtesy to him, even though I owe him nothing. AJ folded her arms. So what are you here for then? I have a job for you. The investigator opened her mouth and scoffed, but her mother cut her off. Not a case. An actual job, one you trained for. AJ had a flash of a vision. Back in D.C., shaking hands with diplomats, winking at the right people over a glass of $1,000 champagne, handling spies, coordinating intelligence. It pays well, you have room to climb, and I put in a good word for you. Don't make me regret it. AJ blinked the future away. That's not me anymore. I have Olympus now. One office you don't run anymore, and the other, what? Just you and Tyche? The dream team? Her mother scoffed. Where is she even? Away. On a trip. For the agency? No, just for fun. So you're here alone. What if someone comes in to threaten you? What if they're armed? God, at least in DC you had that half-wit Beaumont to be your bodyguard. Stop. Her mother was barely fazed by her hiss. I've seen you half dead on a stretcher once, Athena. I'm not doing that again. I can't bear to see my daughter like that. You won't have to. AJ raised an eyebrow. You have nothing to do with either of us anymore. You don't have to worry about us or think about what we're doing. Like it's a privilege to see you waste the life we worked so hard on? Her mother threw back. I never forced you. I always said you could be whatever you wanted to be. You chose intelligence, and I gave it to you. And this is how you repay me? AJ stared at her hand as she white-knuckled the chair. If I could be whatever I wanted to be, then why couldn't she? Is this about Tyche again? The girl that chose to have sex with a missing woman and nearly got you killed? AJ only stared at her. Her mother was one of the people she couldn't read very well, no doubt due to her years of intelligence and field work. But the desperation on her face was palpable. Her mother needed her for that job, clearly. She wouldn't come all this way to ask if it wasn't urgent or personal. She wouldn't be trying to pit her against her sister or tell her about her father leaving the continent. It was all so transparent. What's the job? Her mother's eyes snapped back to her. DIA. You remember Leon Bexley? AJ gave a curt nod. One of the high-ups at the DIA she'd met during a few dinners. He's looking to expand a team, and you're at the top of his list. Why? AJ frowned. I haven't done government work in years. Athena Jane, you know your connections and experience are an asset for someone your age. Don't act like an idiot. You're qualified and you fit the profile. AJ tapped her fingers against her desk before glancing back up to her mother. What's in it for you? What? What did he promise you in return? AJ straightened, having a few inches over her mother in height. A promotion? A bonus? You couldn't possibly have come here to convince me because I'm the perfect candidate. You've been spitting on my name ever since I left DC. That's not true. AJ laughed dryly. Maybe, if you're honest with me, I'll consider it. For now, I want you to get the fuck out of my office. I have work to do. Her mother shook her head. I should have known you would disappoint me. Hindsight is 20/20, AJ added dryly. As her mother headed to the elevator, she turned around one more time. Oh, and that bar you frequent? Duckies? That girl in that wheelchair? Is that the kind of people you associate with now? AJ felt fury bubble up in her chest. What about her? Her mother laughed and mumbled under her breath. From foreign presidents and ambassadors to... To what? Say it, AJ yelled, walking up to her mother. Say it! Her mother only smiled and closed the elevator doors. You know where to find me. Something tells me you'll change your mind. Fuck off. The doors almost closed. Language, Athena. AJ breathed heavily as the elevator went down, and her mother disappeared from view. It had been the longest shift of her life, and Mia was incredibly grateful to close the door to the apartment behind her. The people had been nice. Even Dawson had been cool. They'd shared some jokes with the regulars. Overall, the atmosphere had been warm. But the stress was taking its toll on her body. Halfway through the shift, she couldn't even stand anymore. That made the cooking much harder, causing her to make more mistakes. She took a deep breath, wincing at the jab of pain it caused. A quick shower, then straight to bed. It was already past 2 a.m, and she needed to go in early again tomorrow for prep. Foster was coming home tomorrow evening, so they'd have some extra help, but money was tight, so getting another bartender for her absence had been nearly impossible. She wheeled to the shower, already reaching to take off her shirt and pants. Another shot of pain. She grunted in frustration. Just let me do this. The shower would relax her. It usually did. She got off her bra and underwear with some struggling, already feeling exhaustion setting in. Now all she had to do was transfer from the chair to the shower seat. That's where it went wrong. The shower seat was wet, likely from the shower head dripping. She hadn't noticed it. So when she put her hand down and leaned on it, it slid out from under her, taking her entire body with it. The chair slammed sideways, pinning her between the seat and the chair. She let out a pained whine as she felt her body crumple on the shower floor. Jesus Christ. Somehow, it was the last drop in the bucket. And it turned the self-pity she'd been feeling ever since that kiss with AJ into a calm rage. It wasn't the first time she fell. She'd fallen numerous times, at the apartment, at Ducky's, even on the street when a ledge was higher than anticipated. It was embarrassing every time, but usually she laughed it off and pulled herself back into her chair. Worst case, Foster was there to pick her up. Her sister living with her ensured that help was never too far if she really needed it. Now help was in London, on the other side of the world. And Mia was alone. Her phone outside the shower and the pants she'd discarded. She stared ahead, her ear pressed into the shower floor, and did a quick body check. She couldn't see any blood. Nothing hurt too bad, except for her back and ribs that got most of the impact when she got wedged. Nothing felt broken, thankfully. She tried to push herself up, but the pain forced her back down. The amalgamation of the stress of the past few days, combined with the brunt of the impact she'd just gotten, ensured that Mia wasn't getting back up anytime soon. There was nothing to do but lie there, try to get slightly more comfortable, and wait until she felt strong enough to push herself up. Or maybe, out of pure misery and exhaustion, she could just fall asleep there and hope Foster would be back soon, so her life would at least get somewhat back to normal. Despite the sting of embarrassment at depending on her younger sister far more than Mia wanted. Though she'd learned in those years of struggling with her injury that getting help wasn't the end of the world, she still rarely asked for it from anyone that wasn't Foster. Dawson helped sometimes if needed, but there was always an edge of awkwardness. And am I hurting you? And hesitation in every move he made. At least Foster knew that Mia wasn't going to shatter. She just picked her up and put her where she needed to be, so Mia could have her agency back. If something hurt, Mia would just tell her. And AJ... Mia closed her eyes at the thought of AJ creeping up again. AJ had comforted her, massaged her where she was hurting, had managed to hit all the right places, figuratively and literally. For a brief moment, she pictured AJ coming in to check on her, bursting through the door worried about her. And then she squeezed her eyes shut. AJ finding her naked in the shower, seeing every inch of scarred tissue along her back and hips, either pitying her or never seeing her the same again. Either way, it was a horrifying thought. Mia settled her head back on the ceramic, weakly reaching for the chair to try and push it away. It barely budged, no doubt wedged between the shower door. Okay, she whispered to herself as her eyes closed. Okay. At approximately 5 o'clock, there was a knock at the door. There was nobody home but the victim and her elderly father. They opened the door. Dawson yawned and rubbed his eyes as he put the leftovers Mia had made into the microwave. She would hate him for microwaving it, he thought with a chuckle. It takes out every flavor profile, Dawson. Just heats the outside up to lava. He settled on the couch in the living room, stopping the crime documentary he'd been absent-mindedly following while tidying up. It had been a long day, but tomorrow would be even longer. First a full shift at Ducky's, then picking Foster and Tyche up at the airport and driving them home. Mia would have to manage on her own, and Dawson doubted whether she could. She'd been acting off the last few days, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Probably a bad pain. That was something she rarely shared with him out of pride. Figures. He flipped through channels to find something interesting, eventually settling on the nth YouTube gaming video he could watch while eating. His phone buzzed about 5 minutes in. AJ, are you still up? He frowned, not expecting her to text, especially not at this hour. Sure, he'd left Olympus in a more than dramatic storm out today, but she hadn't checked in on him at all, either to give him space or because she didn't care. He was inclined to believe the latter. AJ was giving him every sign imaginable to back off, openly flirting with that Luke guy, showing him stripping on camera. Dawson knew AJ deserved a guy like that. A six-pack Marine, or whatever the hell he was. Someone competent, who could follow along with her mind. He was only good to save her ass with the books, to help her with her company. As soon as that was done, their talks seemed to be done. He scrolled up. The last time they texted had been over a week ago, despite the fact that he'd seen her every day. And it was about the taxes. They never talked about anything but work, Ducky's or Olympus. He typed back. Why? AJ's response came quickly. Can I come over? AJ had never been at the house. Had never offered to. Maybe that Luke guy had left her hot and bothered and she was just looking for a quick fuck. He wouldn't be that guy. Not in a million years. So he huffed and texted back. Not tonight. He put his phone down, settled back into the couch, and continued his meal.